Hello, and welcome to Let's Go Green. Today we're going to visit two markets, the Lisle French Market and the Bolingbrook Farmers Market. We're going to learn about hydroponics, farm-raised beef, and a little bit about organic farming. Let's go shopping. Today we're at the Lisle French Market, and we are here with
Paula Gleason.
And what is your position here at the Lisle French Market?
I'm the supervisor on site of the market. I work for Benson USA, who runs the market.
And how long has the Lisle French Market been around?
We've been here in Lisle for about 6 years. 3 years we were across the street, and after they tore down the village hall, they moved us over here into the Metro parking lot. And this is much more convenient. It's easy parking for customers, easy parking for the vendors. Very convenient.
And why should people shop at a farmer's market or a French market compared to the grocery store or anything like that?
The French market has fresh produce. Everything that we have here comes from within 200 miles, so it's all locally grown. We have fruit, produce, vegetables, artifacts. We have bakeries that all make their own breads, focaccia, which is very unusual, handmade jewelry. Everything is quite unusual, and it's so nice to have things coming right from the farm.
And what is the difference between a regular farmer's market and a French market? Why is this called a French market versus just a regular farmer's market?
This is a French market because it's run by a company, a European company, Benson USA. They provide all of the canopies and poles, which give it that European flair. And we try to make it more of artisans of all products, not just produce. A farmer's market is usually just vegetables and produce. And this, we have the artisans, we have artwork, we have music, a variety.
So everything here is organic, or do you know if all the farmers make sure that they don't use pesticides and everything, or is it kind of a mixture of both?
It is a mixture of both. We have some farmers who are totally organic, and we provide them with this sign that they may use, that they are earth-friendly, and that identifies those particular farmers. Not everyone has this. Some of our ciders and jams and jellies are also, and we also have a representative from Wild Brand Food here, which is all organic food and gluten-free.
And what months do you operate?
We're open from the beginning of May to the end of October. That's 6 full months out of the year.
Welcome back to Let's Go Green. Now we are at the Bolingbrook Farmers Market, and we're going to talk with Claudio about hydroponics. Hello. What is hydroponics?
Hydroponics is growing without soil, soilless media like rock wool.
And what is the advantage to hydroponics versus using regular soil?
You could do it year-round in greenhouses.
And so is this organic growing, or do you use pesticides, or are you pesticide free?
We are pesticides free, but because of the fertilizer we use in the hydroponic system, we can call ourselves organic.
Okay. And before you come to the farmer's market, when do you pick the vegetables? Is it a couple of days before? Is it the day before?
The day before, and sometimes the morning before the market.
And are you here every week at the Bolingbrook Farmers Market?
We are.
Thank you so much. What is the difference between your meat versus the meat you would find in a grocery store?
Well, on our beef that you mentioned, we're strictly grass-fed. It's never receives any grain. We also don't use any hormones, antibiotics, or medications on that. They're out on pasture from usually April to December, and then we'll feed them hay throughout the winter before they go back out. We also do pasture-raised pork, chicken. We do a fresh pasture-raised turkey for Thanksgiving. On those, the chickens are moved around the pasture throughout their life, and then the turkeys and the laying hens are total free range. They just have the run of the place. The laying hens are out morning to night, and then they just go in at some point during the day, hopefully, and lay an egg for me. And that's pretty much what we're doing.
So they're not restricted to cages, they're not...
No cages. The only closest thing would be on the broilers that we raise. We do have a portable netting that goes around them, mainly to protect them from predators. They're not quite as wily as the laying hens, so they need a little help there. But that is moved around the pasture pretty much on a daily basis.
Are you here every week at the Bolingbrook Farm?
We're here 9 to 12 every Saturday.
Now we are at Hardin's Family Farm, still in Bolingbrook, and so I know that you're not a strictly organic farm, but how do you do the organic versus the sustainable on your farm?
Well, sustainable is a form of organic. It is not totally with no pesticides at all. We spray as little as we can get by with. We do grow our red raspberries and black raspberries in high tunnels, and we use no pesticides whatsoever on those.
Okay, and how soon before you come to the market do you pick all the fruits and vegetables? Is it the day before, a couple days before?
Our goal is to pick everything the day before, so Friday is a very long day for everybody. Crew in blueberries, we have a different crew in red raspberries, and coming soon, hopefully next week, peaches.
Sounds good to me. Great fruit salad. And how far from Bolingbrook are you located?
We are in the southwest corner of Michigan. It takes about 2.5 hours to get here and about 3.5 going home, thanks to traffic.
And is this the only farmers market are you at? Do you go to other farmers markets in the area?
Yes, actually on Saturdays is our busy day. My wife is at a market in Oak Park, and I have a son that's in Deerfield, and then I'm here. And then after Bolingbrook, we leave here and go to Homer Glen for an afternoon market.
Oh wow, are you here every week in Bolingbrook?
Until I hit the lottery.
Hi, and welcome to Let's Go Green. Today we are at the Green Earth Institute Eco Fair, where we're learning about organic gardening, and we're learning about some other things such as solar power, about other ways that we can go green in our homes and in our gardening. Let's see what we have.
Our season for growing our vegetables starts in February, and of course in February it's usually the ground is frozen and the air is frozen, so we grow plants inside. But in mid-February we're planting our onions and leeks and scallions in plastic trays and growing them in our propagation room, which is an insulated room that we keep at 75 degrees, and we grow those from seed under fluorescent lights. And so that's in mid-February. We plant many trays, and then in mid-March we're planting in trays once again our tomatoes and eggplants and peppers and basil in plastic trays, and they grow in the germination trays where we put 500 seeds for about 3 weeks, and then we transplant them into these 50 cell trays. So these are peppers. You can tell by the leaves, and there's tomatoes and there's eggplants in here. So these crops all happen to be, these are what's called warm season crops. They cannot take the cold. So we put them in a protected environment, and after all threat of frost has passed in mid-May, we will be transplanting these into the field. So this is what we call a propagation greenhouse, where we're propagating the plants. Last summer we built our third greenhouse. Two of them are propagation greenhouses, and our third one is where we're actually growing in the ground, growing crops in the ground, and that's for our spring share, our season extension shares in the spring and late fall. How many people know what hardening off is? You do. The deal is that when those baby plants have been, we've taken, we grow them in very carefully controlled environment from the time they were a seed, and after they move out of the propagation room, they move into the greenhouse, and there they're protected from the wind and from any direct sun. Well, it doesn't work very well to take them directly from that environment and transplant them into the field. They need to get adjusted to the sun and the wind. And so we do it's a process called hardening off. And so the first day we load them up and put them on those trays and wheel those ladders outside, and we put them out, depends on how intense the sun is, put them out for a couple of hours and then take them back in. The next day, maybe 4 hours. The next day, the whole day, and then we do that for 3 or 4 days, and then we leave them out overnight. So that they toughen up, they get used to the wind and the intense sun, and but that's a handy way to move trays rather than one at a time. But let me tell you about the organic growing methods we use. The secret, the key, I'll use the term the key of organic agriculture is the soil. It's the soil. To contrast this with conventional chemical farming, let me say that in our soil, the soil scientists tell us that at an organic farm like this, if you look at the number of critters that are in that, there's some big critters, earthworms, centipedes, millipedes, but total in a cup of soil there's about 6 billion critters. Bacteria, fungi, actinomycetes, nematodes, all these little things. These are nature's decomposers, and what they are doing is they are decomposing the organic matter, which is the plant residue, the leaves, the roots, the leftover stuff from the year before, and it is their enrichment of the soil by they're eating those residual materials, that then what they're doing is they're transforming that material into a form that the next year's crops can use, and they're doing it in a natural way. Now compare that to a conventional chemical farm where they're spraying all these synthetic pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, and also fertilizing. They're fertilizing by injecting ammonia into the soil. That's really damaging to that microbial life, and the scientists say it's a third or a half as many little critters in that soil. And because they don't have the natural, because they don't have as rich of a flora and fauna as we do, then they're injecting artificial things, and it gets into a bad cycle of more artificial stimulants. It's just like sugar. It's like could we live on sugar alone? Sugar gives us a boost, but it's not a healthy diet for us. And that's the same way with injecting these synthetic fertilizers into the soil. So we, above all, want to take care of our soil, nurture our soil, because a healthy soil leads to a healthy plant, and then it produces healthy food for us. People ask me, you know, what do you spray on the insects? Well, we don't have a significant insect problem because of this issue of the healthier the soil is, the healthier the plant is, the more it's able to resist insect problems or disease. It's like you and me. If our immune system is strong, if we're strong and healthy, we don't get the flu, we don't get colds, or if we do, it's just a mild case. Whereas if our immune system is down, then that's when we can get sick. Easy to remember. I call it the 3 C's. One is compost. So our fertilizer here is composted. Actually, in this case, it's composted horse manure. I wish we had access to cow manure. It's got some characteristics that are a little different than horse manure, but horse manure is what we have. We get it from a riding stable just a mile down the street, and it's good. We compost it. We let it age, and we let the microbes within it work with the manure and with the little wood shavings that are in it from the horse bedding. And over time, you know, after a year, and even before that, it's wonderful fertilizer for our plants. So that's composted horse manure is what we use, and that's one of the 3 C's. The second one is cover crops. Whenever we're not growing, actively growing vegetables, we want to have a cover crop on that land to keep erosion away. We don't want the soil to blow off or to wash off, but also we want to be feeding that microbial life. So in the fields, like a parking field has a cover crop of some grasses and alfalfa, red clover. Last year we grew over there, and the red clover is coming up. These cover crops provide a setting for the microbes to rejuvenate and make the soil healthy. Growing vegetables draws a lot of nutrients out of the soil. So compost, cover crops, and then the 3rd C is crop rotation. And this is another way we deal with the insects and the disease. I'll start with a criticism of what we so often see here in Illinois. We see corn and soybeans. Corn and soybeans. And that's dual cropping. I mean, my biggest criticism is for monocropping. Just picture this. If you grow the same crop in the same place year after year, all the insects that feed on that crop are going to set up housekeeping. All the insects, all the diseases, all the funguses, because the adults, eat on the crop and then lay their eggs in the soil. The larvae hatch, come up, eat on the crop. The adults lay their eggs in the soil. The larvae come up. It's just a cycle like that. And that's the way nature works. You go where the food is. So the problem, monocropping or even dual cropping with corn and soybeans, is that you are inviting all those insects and diseases that feed on those crops. What we do in growing organically is we rotate crops. Never do we grow the same crop in the same place the next year. So it's more the balance of nature. These will attract some insects, and then if the insects lay their eggs in the soil, the larvae will hatch and come up, but they won't, the next year they won't find Chinese cabbage here. They'll find tomatoes or something like that. So by mixing it up, you keep the insects and disease off balance. Sure, you're going to have some, because that's nature, but you don't give them a smorgasbord like you do if you're growing the same crop in the same place year after year.